Yeah. Yeah.
The light is on.
Yeah.
Good morning, Unity in the Seven Hills. It's going to be a very special Sunday for so many reasons. I would ask you, please, if you have cell phones, smartphones, put your cell phones in meditation mode for the time being. And let's get started.
Good morning to you all. Ooh, now I usually have a loud voice. All right, I want to say good morning to you, and so glad to be in your presence today. And we look forward to worshiping our God together. Amen. Amen.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel His mighty power and His grace. I can feel shine right here and now.
Amen.
Weave us together, weave us together in unity and love.
Sing with us.
Weave us together, weave us together, together in love. We are many textures, we are many colors, each one different from the other. But we are entwined with one another in a great tapestry. Weave us together, weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, weave us together, together in love. We are different instruments playing our melodies, each one tuning to a different key. But we are all playing in harmony and one great symphony. Weave us together, weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, weave us together in unity and love. A moment ago, still we did not know our unity, only diversity. Now the Christ in me brings the Christ in me in one great family. Weave us together, weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, weave us together, together in love.
Wow. We a lot of times say we're small but mighty, but you know, Mormon Tabernacle Choir, watch out. Here we come. Thank you so much. It's going to be, well, it was a wonderful day yesterday for Linda's and Marie and Scott. Scott's not here with us today, but an incredible workshop, which I'll talk about in a minute. But also, this is going to be a very interesting Sunday. The music, my goodness, and Linda is going to be giving the message. But there was yesterday's workshop was on building bridges, dealing with diversity. Today, Linda is going to be talking about creating. Remember, we've been talking about creating a beloved community, creating a real beloved community. Why don't we start out by blessing the unity candle with that great affirmation? There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in our lives, God, the good, omnipotent. Something happened yesterday during the workshop that was given, and it was a really wonderful workshop, which really hit home for me, and it was I think a very, very special moment. And as I was driving away, what came through my mind is something from the book of Proverbs. Proverbs, a lot of times, doesn't mince words and really hits you on the head. It's 18 to 13 Proverbs. It says, answering before listening is both rude and stupid. But what brought this up? Marie, and I have Marie's permission to tell this. I have her permission to tell this story. Anyway, and I had lunch with Marie, during and what an incredible, I wish I had her as a teacher, an incredible educator. And so she was she was reading on something that had been written on a board, which was up there and during the workshop. And she was having trouble reading it and fumbling with some words, and so what's going on and all that. Marie stepped aside and said, I want to tell you something. I had a stroke recently. Could have killed her. And it left part of the brain, it took a while before I could, come and stand and read and all. But it took a while for the brain to rejuice and re-get, but it still isn't back to where it was before. And I have trouble sometimes reading, particularly certain colors. One of the colors is green. The writing was on green. It was green, was exactly. After Marie told this story, I got to tell you, we listening really changed. I mean, instead of just one person out there, now we could see this as a real act of courage. And it hit me how often we go in knowing not all the facts, to put it mildly, knowing very little. And yet we have our opinions and this is how it should, and why isn't it going this way? And realizing that a lot of times we don't see the real picture. We don't see the whole story. And if we did, what we might look upon, why is it going on? That we could see this as an act of courage, as an act of beauty, as divine order, as truly in that one presence and one power. Let's just go into prayer a moment. Dear Spirit, answering before fully listening is rude and stupid. Help us in so many situations, whether it be through long lines in stores, or when we wind up with the shopping cart with the woogity wheel, or whatever the situation is, to realize that we probably do not know all of the facts, and that we have forgotten our oneness with you and how truly, truly blessed we are. Thank you for this fall harvest season. And thank you for our many blessings. And where there are challenges, may we see these challenges as opportunities for more spiritual growth. And for this and so much more, we say thank you and amen and amen. If you are new to Unity in the Seven Hills or new to Unity, welcome. We're so glad to have you. And we have I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand or all that, but we have a packet in the back, which our greeters would be glad to give you, which explains so much more about Unity in the Seven Hills. There's stuff going on here almost every day, both live and also online, to really help you improve and move on with your spiritual walk. Also, at the end of the service, and we're going to do a little candle lighting at the end of the service. But downstairs, please join us for fellowship. We really would love to get to know you better. And the fellowship and food is always wonderful. Let me tell you a little bit about Linda. We are so fortunate to have her with us today. Linda Dunn is a peacemaker. She's great at peacemaking. Music, social justice issues have been at the focus of Linda Dunn's life. Linda is a mediator, a musician, a teacher, a social worker, and an equity and diversity leader and activist. She was the director of the Alamance County Dispute Settlement Center for 13 years. We could go on for the rest of the service time and tell all the wonderful things that center did. In 1992, she was trained to lead diversity workshops by the National Coalition Building Institute. And it was ask any one of us who have, could I see hands of people? Look around, people who were there, ask us what happened, because I mean, it really was an incredible experience. She has taught meditation and collaborative conflict resolution skills at Elon University for the past 25 years. She has been very blessed to have witnessed countless miracles while mediating thousands of court cases and training hundreds in the art of mediation. She really does believe that all conflicts can be solved collaboratively if we are willing to work together and listen to each other's needs. She is also an active member of Unity of Greensboro, and so we are really, really, really glad that she is here. Each week, we look at one Unity principle, one of the 5 Unity principles, and look at it more in detail. This week, we're on to the 5th principle, which essentially is that, talking the talk is great, but it doesn't really start to work until you walk the walk. Mort Saul, that great comedian, said he bought a copy of a set of the world's great books and he put it in his library. He wasn't going to read them, but he thought by just having them there by osmosis, it would seep into his brain. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. You can go to CVS and buy the medicine, but if you're not, or Walgreens or whatever, but if you're not taking it, it's not really doing you any good. And I don't know about you, I have found the hardest part is when the rubber meets the road. I'm not, I guess I am plugging. We have a group on Tuesday, 10:30 on Zoom and also, live about applying these principles when the rubber meets the road. But what I don't know about you, what I sometimes have found, when the rubber really meets the road, when you really hit that metaphysical pothole, spiritual principles sometimes fly out the window. As they say about our country, when the going gets tough, the tough go shopping. So, I mean, that's a lot of times what we do, and it's so hard sometimes to just remember, I was born blessed and remain blessed. I am one with the one. And that great all-purpose unity affirmation, which is wonderful, this, and you fill in the blank, this cannot stop my good from coming to me. If we can just remember that when we hit that pothole in the road, then applying these principles, whoa, things really turn around. I love it in Alcoholics Anonymous and AA 12-step fellowships. They have promises. If you're doing these steps, certain promises are going to come. And one of them deals with financial insecurity. And the promise is that fear of financial insecurity will leave us. It doesn't say financial insecurity will leave, but the fear of it will leave us. So things may not change in the outside world, but when we're doing this stuff, we change. We change. And it doesn't matter whether the outside world changes. But you know what? A lot of times when we change, that's the most profound influence we can have on the outside world. The outside world starts to change. Let's start saying these unity principle, this 5th principle together. It's not enough to understand spiritual teachings. We must live the truth we know. Amen. Amen. We are so fortunate to have Crystal and a wonderful YFM program. The program is growing so much that we really are looking for volunteers to help Crystal. There's a sign-up sheet in the back there. If you could, give a Sunday or two to volunteer to help Crystal, that would be great. But gosh, I've never been a Catholic priest, but one of the things I deeply admire, Catholic priests are taught when kids are crying or what, that's joy. That should be joy to your ears. To hear children in this service and is joy to our ears. So Parents, don't worry. You don't have to rush kids out. I say this as a father of 6. We love hearing that. We love hearing that noise. Let's say that wonderful blessing together about our children. You are a perfect child of God, and God and I love you just the way you are and wherever you are. And let's sing our song to them.
We have
Go.
sound on the keys.
This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
And they will be back at the end of the service. Tell us what they have been doing. Please be seated. Why don't we say that mission statement together? Unity in the Seven Hills is a vibrant, inclusive community that inspires individual spiritual growth through education, prayer, and heart connection and sacred service. And our vision is we are an inclusive community centered in spirit. We embrace our divine oneness, power, and purpose. And our daily word, and it's so interesting because I know the editor of the Daily Word was a classmate of mine at seminary, and she tells me they put these things together. Christmas issue was put together in July and all that. So, but the synchronicity. Yesterday for the workshop, the Daily Word was inner peace, and today, building a community, a real beloved community, the word is together. And the affirmation is the presence of God unites us as we work, play, and pray together. Joining with others to work makes the job easier. Joining together for fun multiplies the enjoyment. The camaraderie, cooperation, and support of togetherness gives me a boost and brightens my mood. The indwelling Christ presence is alive in all people everywhere. When I work, play, pray with others, something greater than the sum of our individual efforts and insights results. The divine love that binds us multiplies as we recognize it in one another and give it fuller expression in ourselves. Work becomes more productive, play more enjoyable, and prayer more fulfilling. Together, we produce more good work and feel more joy and happiness than any of us could accomplish on our own. And from Matthew, we read where Jesus said, "For where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I am among them." Today's daily word is together. And now we have special praise music.
you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? I would whisper love so loudly every heart could understand that love and only love can join the tribes of man. I would give my heart's desire so that you might see. The first step is to realize that it begins with you and me. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? When we stand together, it's our finest hour. We can do anything, anything. Keep believing in love. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time?
And now we're going to have two treats. We're going to have Linda Dunn's message, and then Ari is going to be doing a wonderful meditation.
One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. I believe it's not too late. Together we can change the world. Lay the puzzle pieces out. Find out what it's all about. Together we can change the world. Can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for your help. Together we can change the world. Sail past where it's been charted. Roll your sleeves up, let's get started. Together we can change the world. Together we can change the world. With our hands and with our hearts, we can dare to
Am I
make
okay?
a start together.
I've never
we
done this
can
before,
change.
so I hope I don't mess it up. So I'm so excited to be here today, and I have to say, I'm just totally amazed at the synchronicity and all the things that have already been said and already. I don't think it was there. There we go. Anyway, the song we just played, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I believe it's not too late. Together we can change the world. And so that kind of goes along with our daily word that we just read. And we got to do it together. And so, would you like to change the world? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. Do you believe a church like Unity of Seven Hills can change the world?
Yes.
Do you believe that you personally can change the world?
Yes.
And Pastor Rick just said, when we change, the outside world changes. And so that's one of my main points. You know, how can we change individually so that the outside world can change? And what do we need to do to work together to bring about change in our world? Okay. There. Is that better? No? Now it's off.
Why don't you just give her the handset?
I don't know if I can hold the handset. I probably end up moving too much. Is this okay? We're okay. It'll be okay. So yes, it's all good. So I want to focus on 3 things that Unity people believe that I think could bring about some great big changes in our world. So the first one is that Unity teaches what? An abundance mindset. And that might be a little thought-provoking for some of you, but when I learned that Unity believed in an abundance mindset, I was thrilled. And you'll find later on why I was so thrilled to see that Unity believes in an abundance mindset. So another thing that we as Unity believe is that what we resist persists, right? Isn't that something we believe? So what we resist persists, so remember that. And the third point that I want to make has to do with the last song that we always sing at Unity, Let There Be Peace on Earth, and especially the line, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with who? Me. Right. So, the title of my talk is Creating the Beloved, and I put in quotes, real community. So Pastor Rick talked a little bit about the beloved community a couple weeks ago. Even though Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. did not originate this term, he embraced it as a goal for all of humanity. The beloved community asks us to imagine that each person that we encounter is a cherished member of our family, and that we want them to thrive as much as we want ourselves to thrive. Dr. M. Scott Peck describes what he calls, it's still squeaking. That's kind of bothering me. I don't know if it's bothering others. Should I just speak without it? Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, maybe put it right here. Oh, now it's okay? No? Okay. Okay, we're going to affirm it'll be okay, right? We got it fixed. Okay. Spirit, thank you for fixing this. Okay, thank you. So, Martin Luther King Jr. Embraced the beloved community as a goal for all of humanity. Dr. M. Scott Peck, should I just turn this off?
I would just turn this thing off and talk right into here. I even brought you a tambourine in case you get inspired.
You going to turn it off? I just might.
Let's see if this
Is that better?
Let's try. Can we move this thing here?
There we go.
Let's get this podium right for you, girl.
How's that? You really need me to hold this? Okay, I will do my best. I'll try not to move, but I'm a person who moves with her hands. I talk with my hands, so I'll try to keep it without moving too much. So Dr. M. Scott Peck describes what he calls real community, listing the qualities of real community in his book, The Different Drum, Community Making and Peace. If we believe in an abundance mindset, if we avoid resisting and believe and embrace the belief that peace begins with each one of us, we could create
a beloved community. If we truly embrace these three beliefs, but what keeps us from creating the beloved or real community in our churches, schools, and communities? Why have so few of us ever experienced a sense of real community? I know I haven't, maybe just briefly for moments. So let me begin with a story. A Sufi master was strolling through the streets one day with his students. When they came to the city square, a vicious battle was being fought between government troops and rebel forces. Horrified by the bloodshed, the students implored, "Quick, master, which side should we help?" "Both," the master replied. The students were confused. "Both?" they demanded. "Why should we help both?" "Well, we need to help the authorities learn to listen to the aspirations of the people," the master answered. "And we need to help the rebels learn how not to compulsively reject authority." I read this story in Dr. M. Scott Peck's book, The Different Drum, Community Making and Peace, several years ago. When I read this book, I had already been trained as a mediator as well as a trainer of mediators. I was already seeing the world in a very different way as a mediator. I had discovered that people could resolve their conflicts peacefully with the guidance of mediators who did not take sides, did not judge, and did not give advice. I had witnessed the joy of helping people discover that when they were given an opportunity to really listen to one another and hear each other's stories, they often had a change of view concerning their conflict. People also learned that when they had a chance to express their pain and heartache in a safe place and really listen to one another, they would work together to solve the conflict. So I had learned that when we take sides against each other, conflicts only get worse and they don't get resolved. But also at that time when I read it, I had become a peace activist, protesting the threat of nuclear weapons and protesting against war in Iraq and in Afghanistan, marching on Washington for civil rights. So when I read this story, I felt affirmed in my role as a mediator because mediators don't take sides. However, thinking about my role as a protester and my self-righteous attitudes about addressing the inequities in the world, it was hard to swallow the part about not rejecting authority. I was compassionate about racism and poverty, and I wanted to bring about change. So how do you do that without rejecting people in power? Right now, our society is filled with fear, violence, depression, oppression, inequality, racism, poverty, prejudice, and injustice, to name a few. The question is, how do you want our world to change? If we wish to break down the barriers between people in power and the rebels, we have to stop resisting and talk. We have to change the win-lose mindset that perpetuates violence and escalates conflict and learn how to collaborate. The people need to listen to the needs of the leaders, and the leaders need to care about and listen to the needs of the people. We have to create safe spaces where people can share their feelings and needs and listen to the needs of others. So how can you change the world? Well, you can choose to add to the fear and anxiety in our country and have a lack mindset that says there's not enough for everybody. Therefore, you have to be fearful and anxious and fight to get what you need. Or you can decide that fear and anxiety can be replaced by faith and trust and an abundant mindset. You can choose to be violent towards people you disagree with, or you can view people you disagree with or view to be harmful, or you can choose to be nonviolent at all times and change the world that way. It's your choice. You can let peace begin with you by choosing non-harmful ways of dealing with your pain and oppression. I see the world in a very different way than most people see it. I have mediated thousands of court cases. And when people come into court, they're angry, frustrated, confused, anxious, afraid, and they want justice. They're there, they come to court ready to defend their point of view as right, ready to prove the other person wrong. They want a judge to decide who's right and who's wrong, because that gives them power. They want the person who's done harm to be punished. So when their case is referred to mediation, they have to think about the conflict in a little bit different way. Most people are reluctant to mediate because they're intent on what they think is justice. They're not thinking about love and forgiveness. But isn't that what we believe? Don't we believe we should love our neighbors as ourselves? Love one another as God loves us? Aren't we taught to love our enemies? I believe life is all about love and forgiveness. If we don't learn anything else, that's what we're here for. If we cannot love and forgive one another, we are doomed to a circular system of harm and revenge. When one person is harmed, we believe it is all right to punish the person doing the harm and harm them by some form of punishment. This does not solve the harm. It creates a circular system where one person harms someone and is punished, and then the punished person wants retaliation and revenge because now they have been harmed. Our system does not help people to heal the harm and stop the cycle. Some of you may know there is a new movement in our country and in the world called restorative justice. Have any of you heard of that? Yeah, there you go. Restorative justice seeks to examine the harmful impact of a crime and then determine what can be done to repair that harm while holding the person who caused it accountable for his or her actions. This means accepting responsibility and acting to repair the harm that is done. Because of my teaching and mediation experience, I have discovered the root of all of our problems in our country and in the world. I'm pretty sure I know what is at the root of injustice, oppression, depression, anxiety, fear, poverty, racism, environmental issues. It's all the same thing. What is it that keeps us from loving one another and loving our neighbors as ourselves? What is it that keeps us from having an abundance mindset and trusting God to provide all of our needs? You might say, oh, it's greed, it's power, it's selfishness. But these are outcomes of the cause of all of our problems in the world, but they're not the cause. So you really want to know what prevents us from achieving the beloved community? You're going to be mad at me. You're probably going to disagree with me. So some of you think I'm crazy. Hopefully there'll be a few of you at least that will think about this and agree with me. Are you ready? True confession. At the root of all of our problems is competition and the competitive mindset. Alfie Kohn says competition has become our number one obsession, and it is almost sacred in our country and in the world. So that's why I'm reluctant to share that, but I truly believe it. It is the competitive mindset that says there's not enough of everything, so I have to work against you. I have to resist you to make sure my needs are met. I believe the competitive mindset is destroying us. Yep. We've been taught to compete, and we teach our children that they have to compete to make it in this life. We believe that competition is fun. We believe it's productive. We believe it builds character, and it is necessary to our survival. Everything in our world has become a competition. We have dance dance competitions, bake competitions, beauty competitions, sports competitions, music competitions, sales competitions, corporate competitions, and on and on and on and on and on. We can't play a game without winners and losers. We think it's the only way to achieve our goals. Some of us even think it's a part of our human nature. Oh, I hope you really don't believe that. We are not born competitive. But there's actually some research out there. Some people believe we're born competitive. We even believe that nature and animals are competitive and that only the fit survive. Have you really studied nature? It's totally collaborative. It's always working together. So Alfie Kohn wrote a book called No Contest, The Case Against Competition. And he researches all the negative things about competition. You would be amazed if you read the book. I used it in my classes for several years, but the students just could not accept it. I found that I was arguing with them about whether competition was bad. And so I realized I was competing with them to prove them wrong and me right. So I switched the assignment around. I mean, we just get caught up in it, in that competitive and arguing and working against each other and proving one person's right and the other's wrong. Dr. Kohn says, from the time we are toddlers until the day we die, we are busily struggling to outdo others. It's the common denominator of American life. Because we are so immersed in it, we don't even notice it. Walker Perry said, a fish does not reflect on the nature of water. He cannot imagine its absence, so he cannot consider its presence. So like fish, we swim in a sea of competition. So we don't know what it does to us. We don't notice it. So what are we doing when we compete? And what are we thinking when we compete? We are doing whatever we need to make sure that we win and another person or group loses. Competition is totally based on a lack mindset. It can't exist without a lack mindset. In competition, it teaches you that your worth is dependent on winning and being better than someone else. Competition teaches you to withhold information. Oh, I better not share that with them. They might take it away from me. So you withhold information, and in competition, you close yourself out from the information that other people have that could help you make better decisions. If you have a good idea, you try to hide it, or you force it on other people. It insists on its own way. Competition teaches you that you are right and other people are wrong, so you have to compete to prove this. It says my way or the highway. People will kill, lie, cheat, and connive to make sure they win. Look what happened today. At some point, I do want to pray for Israel. You know, Israel declared war this morning. So it teaches us that rugged individualism and that we don't believe we need to be connected to one another. It teaches you to use all your time and energy to work against someone else. You are choosing to work against others, so in resisting, the competition persists. Competition does not build character. A competitive culture endures by tearing people down. Look at our schools, for example. I was a school social worker for 13 years. Students are taught to compete for grades, compete for attention, compete for affection, compete to achieve goals, and on and on. Why do we have to teach our children what we call character development these days? Because a competitive mindset has taught them to not care about each other. So now we have to teach them character development? Because they have not learned to care about each other. And why do we have a bullying problem? Have you ever thought about it? I'll tell you, it starts from the top and it moves down. So I'm using an example that may not be exactly accurate, but it's like The superintendent bullies the principals bully the teachers bully the students, and then the students bully each other, and what do? We want to punish that little bully who's modeling what we taught them. Social workers had to implement and follow through on the bullying policy in our school system. I hate to say it, but I did not believe in punishing those bullies. I believe that if the bully sat down with the person they harmed and they talked things through, things would change. So we have to look at what we're modeling. I know that it doesn't happen in all educational systems, but there's always a focus on production, and we think the only way to produce things is through competition. Competition causes anxiety. Our world is full of anxious and fearful people who are stuck in a belief that no matter what they do, they cannot win. And we even set up systems so that large groups of people can't win. That's where racism comes from. That's what it's based on. And we teach our children that we not only want you to be good, you have to be better than someone else. All of our institutions are based on competition and hierarchical systems. I could go on and on, but I want to get to the point of what do we do about this? So what happened to just honoring the unique being that you were created to be and not worrying about if you are better than someone else? Marshall Rosenberg believes deserve is the worst word in the English language. Why? Because it divides the world in half. Deserve says that there are good people in the world and there are bad people in the world. Good people deserve rewards, and bad people deserve punishment. Who gets to decide who is deserving and who should be punished? Think about it. Don't you say that all the time? Oh, she deserves that. She worked so hard. Oh, he deserves to be punished. Look what he did. Doesn't Unity believe that all, and I mean all people, deserve to be treated with respect and without harm? I think there's a belief in many religions that don't we say thou shalt not kill? So we kill people who kill people to show them that killing people is wrong. Does that make sense? I mean, really. We believe that people who kill deserve to die and that we're allowed to kill them. I thought we said that we were not allowed to kill. So what will save us? How can you help to get us out of this competitive mindset and into an abundant mindset? Collaboration is based on an abundance mindset. In competition, there's not enough of anything. In collaboration, believe it or not, there's always enough of everything. And in my mediation work and teaching conflict resolution, there is always enough. If you work together and get to the root of the conflict and to the real needs of the people, there's always enough. Competition is win-lose, and collaboration is win-win. So Ari, put up the first slide. Okay. I'll just say the quote. So there's a quote by John Denver, and it says, "Who's to say you have to lose for someone else to win?" Did you ever think about that? You both can win. There doesn't have to be winners and losers. So how can you change your mind about competition and create collaborative solutions? Now put up the grid. So what's the difference between collaboration and competition? And when I teach you, I could go on for a long time, so I'm just going to try and point out the main things. But When you're in a conflict situation, you're making two choices. You're choosing to be assertive or unassertive. And when you're being assertive, that means you're sharing your thoughts and your feelings and your needs in an authentic way. And if you're being unassertive, you're holding that back. You're not telling people what you're thinking and feeling. The other thing you're choosing is to cooperate with the other person and work through the conflict with the other person, or you can choose to be uncooperative. I don't want to work that out. And so by choosing, making those two choices, you end up with 5 different ways of resolving conflict. So I want to focus on the 2 boxes that say collaboration and competition. So in both collaboration and competition, you're being assertive. You're telling people what you want and need, but it is a grade. So in collaboration, you're sharing all of your thoughts and feelings and needs. In competition, you're sharing what you want the other person to do, and not necessarily all of your needs. You're putting forth some of them. And then notice that in collaboration, you are cooperative and willing to work through the conflicts, and in competition, you're not. You're just insisting on your own way. If you look at the top of the grid, you will notice that accommodation and collaboration strengthen relationships. Notice that avoidance and competition weaken relationships. And we wonder why our country is so separated. Our relationships, we don't hardly know how to be together sometimes. Notice that both collaboration and competition achieve goals. So, which one achieves goals and strengthens relationships? Collaboration. And notice collaboration is win-win. And win-win, a lot of times when I demonstrate that, but you didn't get what you wanted and she didn't get what she wanted. No, we created a new way. And it became our way. That's how it was win-win. By listening to each other, we were able to find solutions that met both of our needs. We could get out of the positions that we came into the conflict with. So, we have to make our minds to believe that conflicts can be resolved through collaboration by listening to one another, sharing our feelings and needs, and working together to find solutions. We have to choose love over all else. We have to say, like the song I picked for the beginning of the service, love is my decision. It's up to me to walk across the bridge towards the other person. Love is my decision. It's up to me to choose to forgive when we think others have harmed us. Collaboration means instead of resisting and being uncooperative in conflict situations, you're willing to cooperate and work with others to repair the harm that has been done. You're willing to be courageous. It takes courage to collaborate. You have to be willing to share your feelings and needs with others, as well as care equally for the other person. So, I want to bring it around back to the beloved community. So, in what Dr. Scott Peck calls real community. So you can bring up the slide about real community. So here are the qualities of real community according to Scott Peck. Notice number 1, it's inclusive. It excludes nobody. Human differences are celebrated. It doesn't say that single people aren't allowed, mentally challenged people are not allowed, LGBTQ people, QIA people are not allowed, Muslims, rich people, poor people. It doesn't say that anyone is not allowed. Everybody, homeless people, poor people, everyone is allowed and included in the beloved community and in real community. Number 2, it's realistic. Why is it realistic? because people are being honest with each other, and they're starting to see when you put your perspectives together, like Suze was talking yesterday with me, because she's a mediator. We were talking about how when you put your perspectives together, it expands your view of the world. Number 3, it's contemplative. It's self-examining and self-aware. We have to know ourselves. It is aware of the world outside itself, the world inside itself, and the relationship between the two. Number 4, it's a safe place. People are free to be themselves and be vulnerable. It's a place where fear is replaced by hope. Number 5, it's a group of people who become healed and converted after they stop trying to heal and convert. Isn't that cool? We have to stop trying to heal and convert each other to our point of view. When we stop doing that, amazingly, we become healed and converted. We change our mind because no one's forcing us to change our mind. We're allowed to choose. Number 6, it's a laboratory for personal disarmament. It requires us to share our wounds and weaknesses and be affected by the wounds and weaknesses of others. Number 7, this is one. A group that fights gracefully. There are no sides. People have learned how to listen and not reject one another. Conflicts are resolved through collaboration and consensus with wisdom and grace. There can be no competition in real community. And I believe that's one of the things that keeps us from becoming the real community. Notice it's a group of all leaders, number 8. There's a flow of leadership. It's not just one person ruling us and telling us what to do. Maybe one person is the leader of the women's group. Maybe one person is the leader of a men's group. Maybe one person is a leader of food or whatever. So it's a group of all leaders. People become leaders when they do about the things that they love to do. Number 9, each community has its own spirit about it. So if you each community kind of has its own flavor. They take delight in themselves as a collective, so it has a spirit of peace with no competition. And number 10, it's committed to a high quality of communication. Real community communicates with one another on a deep and authentic level. So, in genuine community, there are no sides. It's not always easy, but by the time the people reach real community, the members have learned to give up their cliques and factions. They have learned how to listen to each other and how not to reject each other. It's a safe place, but it doesn't mean community is a place without conflict. Because if you're being authentic, there's going to be conflict. It is, however, a place where conflict can be resolved with without physical or emotional bloodshed, and with wisdom as well as grace. So, where real community happens naturally is whenever there's a disaster. Think about if there's a flood, a hurricane, people come together from all over the place. It's not just the people that live right there. And so people come in and say, oh, I'm a carpenter, I'll help with the building. Oh, I'm a cook, I'll cook food for the workers. Oh, I'm a counselor, I can counsel with the people who've been harmed. Oh, I do this and I do that. And everybody comes together and they tell each other what their strengths and weaknesses are. And they put it all together. They're all committed to a common cause and a common goal. So that's real community. Believe it or not, World War II vets felt real community when they were in battle together. Can you believe it? They came home sad because then they had to get into that macho man role again and not reveal their true selves. They had to hide a lot of the things that they were thinking and feeling. So it can happen naturally. But why aren't our churches places of real community? What keeps us from it? Well, there are 4 stages to building community. So the first thing is when a group comes together, you know how everyone's nice to each other? Oh, can I move this here? I mean, can I do this? Oh, yeah, go ahead and do that. Everyone's nice. There are no conflicts. But Scott Peck says that's pseudo-community. People are pretending. And that's the honeymoon, right? We call it in our relationships. You come together, you get along, everything's going really, really well. But probably everybody's holding something back that's really griping them. And after a while, you can't hold it in. So chaos erupts. And it's natural. It's got to happen. You have to have the chaos in order to get to real community. But we get scared. Oh, we're in a conflict now. There's chaos. We're losing control. Oh, no. What are we going to do? Oh, we have to bring order into place. So one person creates rules, or they say, oh, this'll fix it. And everybody starts arguing about what's going to fix the chaos. And everybody tries to convince everybody else that their way is going to fix it. Usually someone wins, and so different rules and different things are put in place. The people who weren't heard leave the church. My needs were not heard. Goodbye. They don't care about me. Goodbye. And you know what happens? You go right back to pseudo-community and pretending again. New people start to come in. You're pretending with the new people coming in. And then pretty soon there's another chaos. And I've worked in 7 different churches in my life. I've never seen anyone get to real community. They all end up with chaos, pseudo, chaos, pseudo, chaos, pseudo. And it just tears my heart up because I read this back in the 90s. So how do we get from chaos to real community? Number 1, you can't compete. You have to collaborate. And Scott Peck says it's into the only way to get from chaos to real community is into and through emptiness. Emptiness. What does that mean? People must empty themselves of their judgments, assumptions, expectations, ideologies, solutions, theologies, and the need to control in order to have authentic conversations about brokenness and separation. And they have to work together, usually using consensus, to get to the place of real community. This can only be achieved through emptiness. Many groups are afraid of the emptiness process and revert back to the order of pseudo-community. So, that's most of what I wanted to say today. And just to make you be aware, I give my students this assignment in one of my classes to go out into the world this week and notice how people are resolving their conflicts. What style are they using? Are they accommodating? Are they avoiding? Are they competing? How many are collaborating? And at most, some compromise. And I want you to know compromise and collaboration are not the same. Compromise means you have to give up something to get something. In collaboration, you don't have to give up any needs. You can't give up your needs because your needs are too important, and you have to declare them to get to win-win. So I'm just going to leave you with all those things. I had to speak the truth, my truth. What was the principle at the beginning? Speak the truth that you know. And I know it's, yes, we must live the truth we know. So this is my truth. I have to admit I hide it a lot because it is controversial. We love competition. I mean, I'm afraid to say it in a lot of groups. So, so here's what we're going to do. in closing, on March 8th, 2021, the Lenten reading in the Unity book says this, and I want you to repeat after me. I release thoughts of competition. Everybody say it. I release thoughts of competition. And now I want you to repeat this. It can be a challenge to admit to myself that I'm acting from a belief I have to outshine others in order to succeed. So that's a little bit long, but it can be a challenge, say that, to admit to myself that I'm acting from a belief I have to outshine others in order to succeed. Constantly seeking to outdo others, say that, can lead me into thinking I am not enough. The anxiety of pushing myself beyond my limits to impress others only leaves me stressed and drained. I lose sight of my true essence and become immersed in outer appearances and impressive accomplishments. And then there was an example. I'm going to read the example, and then I have a couple more sentences, and then I will let you move on. So there was a little story next, and it says, the person who wrote this says, when I was looking for work, a minister told me, if it's your job, no one can take it away from you. I have learned to apply this awareness in any area of my life where I falsely believe someone can limit my good. So the next sentence I want you to say, when I recognize there's enough for everyone, I can release thoughts of competition. I see where I have limited my experiences by believing that others have better luck, better opportunities, more status, or some other excuse I have created to explain why I feel the need to strive against them. Okay. So holding thoughts of competition leaves me to live in separation from God and others. In God, I recognize there is enough for everyone. As I release thoughts of competition, I am at peace. Everyone say that. As I release thoughts of competition, I am at peace. Thank you.
And now special music will lead us into meditation.
Let's remember that chaos becomes before the beloved community, and it's said that if you think about the term Om, that the most important part is the M, the M, because it's a sign of destruction, and you can't create without destruction. You must break things down. So let's close our eyes. Take a breath to the seat of the soul, to the very base of your being, to the bottom of your spine. Letting go for a moment of everything. And as you inhale, allow the body to gather energy down at that base. And as you exhale, direct that energy up to the spot between the brows, the ajna. Gathering energy in, bringing it up, and allow your eyes to look up and through that area, through the divine gaze. And in that spot, allow yourself to see a face, the face of another person. Bring your gaze to behind those eyes. Whether it's the unbelievable pain and joy that an infant experiences, the wonder of finding your thumb for the first time, or the pain and the unstoppable quality of teenagehood. Whether it's a face of a different hue, a different gender, allow yourself to look through those eyes. And realize that not only does this give you a chance to try and feel what someone else may feel, but a better perspective to see you, yourself, from without. Breathe into that for a moment. Now let our gaze come back to our own gaze, still peering through that divine point. And looking down from there, notice your heart begin to glow an electric green that pours through the body until you radiate this brilliant, blazing green of love, radiating out into the world. And see yourself in that heart space, seated on a lotus with one foot off the lotus on the ground, ready to jump forth in compassion and love to do the action that that love takes. And as you see yourself there, you hear a mantra. This is a mantra of green Tara, of compassion, of love, and action, ready to leap forward into that love. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. You hear it as a dedication to love, to oneness, to connection, and the action that comes from those ideas, those feelings. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. Now allow yourself to take the biggest breath you've taken all morning. Enjoy that breath, and with it, smell whatever comes with it. Taste what's on the tongue. Hear again the street outside, the hum of the projector. Notice the light coming through the eyelids, the fluctuations of color, letting the body wake back up. Take however many breaths you need. And the point when it feels right, you may open your eyes and return here to this room.
The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. Love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well.
Thank you. Please be seated. We now call it announcements. So I would like to go back to what it used to be called at Unity in the Seven Hills. They used to call this part of the service resources, seeing it as resources which can really help us improve our spiritual walk. Linda's talk really led into what's going to be happening next. Next week, we are starting a new multi-Sunday series on what I think is one of the most important books written in the Unity movement in years, Gary Simmons' The Eye of the Storm. In essence, conflict will happen. Does it lead us down destructive paths, or do we spiritually grow from actually going through these conflicts? So we're going to be starting a series on the Eye of the Storm, but then we're going to have a spirit circle based on the Eye of the Storm on Monday. So the talks will be on Sunday, but then on Monday, we will be having Zoom, actually spirit circles on Zoom, 7:30. I'll facilitate them, which will be able to go into greater detail for whatever we're talking about that week. And so there are sign-up sheets for these spirit circles in the back. Again, they will be starting the 16th of October, a week from this Monday. It will be on Zoom. So sign up. We will be sending you the Zoom link. This Tuesday, Our chaplains are going to be presenting an animal blessing. Our parking lot is going to be turned into a barking lot. Bring your pets from 4 p.m. to sunset. And if you miss it, it will be a catastrophe. We're looking for volunteers. We need volunteers for the Sunday broadcast team. Can I hear a hand for the Sunday broadcast? Whoa. You know, we have had so many people watching, and again, it's archived. These talks are archived, and we are really blessed to see a growing online community, but we need more volunteers to make sure that that happens. On November 5th, again, we do potlucks first Sunday. This next Sunday, November 5th, we're going to try something called Friends and Family. So I hope all of you take some of these cards. Look, unity is not for everybody, but there are some people in your lives who you do know that unity is for them. What we're suggesting, invite friends, invite some family here on the 5th. It will be potluck fellowship downstairs afterwards. So please, we strongly encourage you to do that. Also on November 4th and 5th, it's the Festival of Lights. It's going to be its 15th year. Not only is it the anniversary year, but it will honor the much beloved founder of the event, Therese Sharp, who made her transition this year, and many of us knew her well. The Festival of Light now will shine through the leadership of Pamela Smith, who is taking the reins, thank God. So come out, show your support, get a reading, or just shop for spiritual tools. Admission is $5 for one day, $8 for for the 2 days. By the way, Pamela Smith's group on mystical and metaphysical experiences, which is held on Wednesdays at 1:30 p.m., both here and it's also online. These meetings, I mean, are incredible, and they're also archived. So if you've not seen the first few, please, we can get you they really are fantastic. Pamela is running, I mean, incredibly wonderful groups. So please come on. If you're working, then get the recordings. It's really worth seeing. After the service today, we will be doing the candle lightings. So stick around, and then fellowship downstairs. Prayer chaplain is Sally Ingram. There's Sally. Please, she's here for individual prayer. If you're watching at home, we'd like you to like, comment, subscribe, or click the bell icon for notifications. It's the easiest way to access our live streams. And let me say something. Again, if you see something that's been posted, and a lot of great stuff is being posted online, share it. Share it on Facebook. Share it on Instagram. It will go to your friends, and that is, that honestly, truly is extremely powerful. We are so grateful for the financial support that we have received during the pandemic and in the post-pandemic era. Why don't we say that blessing together? And that comment, there we go. It's not up. There we are. Unity in the Seven Hills is abundantly blessed. Creative people are drawn to us. Divine ideas flow through us. Financial resources bless us. And mighty works together. We used to say small but mighty, but I mean, again, watch out, Mormon Tabernacle Choir. Here we come. And what's going to happen, our greeters are going to have us come on up. I know many of you give monthly or whatever. Come on up. Your positive vibes and prayers are really important. Take a moment by the unity candle, and then by all means take an affirmation. So now we come to something wonderful.
Something wonderful is happening to me.
Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. United in mind, body, and spirit, I dedicate these gifts as they grow to bless our community, our neighborhood, and our world. Boy, oh boy, a lot of children. What's happened today?
Am I on? I think I'm on.
You're on.
I think I am. Maybe. I'm on. I'm just not loud enough. Today we had a lot of amazing new donations of toys. The kids enjoyed playing with everything down there. And also we did kind of a little science experiment in regard to Moses and the parting sea. We can show you downstairs, but it's kind of hard to explain otherwise.
So let's sing the peace song, and then afterwards we're going to have the candle lighting, and then wonderful fellowship and discussion downstairs. So let there be peace.